Ladies and gentlemen, this is on CNN. My goodness, Liz Cheney is going to make criminal referrals, including potentially Trump. And they're talking about everybody is talking about, or all these publications are talking about, not prosecuting Trump would fuel a much graver threat, Liz Cheney says. That's ABC. You have Business Insider, Cheney, I won't let men claiming executive privilege go after the credibility, Hutchinson's character. It's like, well, you provided no evidence. And there's an article, in Reuters. FBI finds scant evidence that January was coordinated. Okay? Scant evidence is doublespeak for there was no evidence that could be used in a court of law. It wasn't coordinated. If anything, if they tried to indict Trump, what he would do is the following. He would say, oh, you want to go after me? We're now going to find out how many government officials in different agencies were there that day and why they were there. And we're going to have them testify under oath. I don't think the government wants that. I don't think the Department of Justice wants that. I don't think the Bureau wants that when, you have an interaction between a Bureau official and Ted Cruz. Basically, Ted Cruz asking the Bureau official, hey, how many agents did you have that day? And the official under oath says, you know what, we can't talk about that. So Yahoo, FBI finds no evidence that Trump and his allies were directly involved with organizing criminal activity of the Capitol. So that's a Business Insider article, August 20th, 2021. We're going on a year that the Federal Bureau of Investigation hasn't found any evidence that anything was coordinated. You can look, Business Insider, Reuters. There are other articles talking about the initial investigations pointing to just a tragic event. By the way, it would be nice if Liz Cheney or Adam Kinzinger brings up the female unarmed Trump supporter that whose life was taken that day, or any left-leaning activist. This is a woman who was unarmed, and her life was taken. Where's the outrage? There is no outrage on the left, and so, or among Never Trump Republicans. So you have this very bizarre hysteria still regarding Trump. It will never end for some people. You can have a recession. We are in a recession right now, 8 to 9% inflation. Gas prices are going to be through the roof yet again. Subscribe to the Oil 150 Bitcoin 10K Recession channel. Those things are going to happen. Bitcoin's going to get to 10,000 or lower. Unfortunately, it's almost there. It was at 19,000 last I checked. Oil prices are now at 107, 110, around there, but they're going to spike up to 150 past the all-time highs. So subscribe to that channel. And in the nuclear confrontation and stock market crash channel, subscribe there. I have segments on both of those channels today. Go to the pinned comment and the description. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like some people. So this channel is supported by the viewers. I will have a live stream tonight at around 8 p.m. Pacific. So be here at about 8 p.m. Pacific for the live stream. But I've talked a lot about this. They don't have anything on Trump. He's going to announce in about a week or so, probably less than that. And they have nothing on him. All they have is hysteria and this apoplectic obsession with his personality. They think he's capable of anything, but then they disregard Hillary with private servers, and she's going to run again. You watch. She will eventually run again. I'll be vindicated. I'll be right. And you know what? It'll be the best thing for the country. We need to redo 2016 for a number of reasons, okay? You can't have Liz Cheney going after Trump. You can't have a Republican Party that's still I mean, Trump has transformed the GOP. So Liz Cheney and Kinzinger, they're on the way out. Liz Cheney is 30 points down. She's going to lose to Marriott Hageman. She basically has already lost. In Wyoming, Kinzinger's not even running for re-election. Neither of them could fill a library full of supporters. Not even a library. If either of them come out with a book, maybe 20, 30 copies will be sold. And it's doubtful how many Democrats will even buy copies. So they've done nothing to help the country, only divide the country. And you're actively dividing and promoting tribalism when you're going after Trump and ignoring churches being burnt to the ground. Like, where's Kinzinger, Cheney, and Democrats condemning what's taking place with churches around the country? And again, this is not about, like, Democrats are very fond of saying whataboutism. No, it's called hypocrisy. It's called hypocrisy. That's when you're a hypocrite. The natural reaction is, well, what about a much greater issue that you are ignoring while you're focusing on a less important issue? The topic of Trump organizing a mob of people and sending them to harm Pence is a nightmare that never existed. He didn't organize a group of people and specifically tell them to commit criminal acts against Pence or the Capitol or anyone else. He had the right to demonstrate. He used the word peaceful. It was bad. He shouldn't have had that day, actually. He should have known that there could have been government agents there. He should have known that chaos could have ensued and that Democrats and media were just waiting to pounce. And that, there was a likelihood that something unpredictable could have taken place, but that day took place. He probably was emboldened, or at least said, hey, if Democrats and left-leaning organizations are demonstrating all throughout that summer, and I agree with the cause, but I don't agree with $1 to $2 billion in property damage, and 19 lives lost and 14,000 arrests. If you are going to make the case that Trump is responsible for damage and criminal activity because of his rhetoric, then what about the rhetoric of Democrats all throughout that summer? Kamala Harris, others. What about the rhetoric of Democrats and the fact that they did not condemn, most did not condemn, $1 to $2 billion in property damage? CNN even had a building in flames behind the journalist saying it was fiery but mostly peaceful. Everyone knows, most Americans, 70% of Americans don't trust media because they can see with their own eyes what media is doing. Media has one political party that it works for. And late night, one political party. Social media algorithms, one political party. It's not about, people talk about the culture war. It's not really about that, I don't think. I think it's about one political party pushing an ideology that benefits it, that suits it. And they don't even believe in the ideology. You could talk about climate change, for example. Yes, it's important. It's a real issue. It's serious, but it's not, you cannot transform the economy immediately from fossil fuels to renewables. And everything Democrats did and Biden did directly caused an increase in price and inflation and the recession that we're having. His policies caused oil and gas associations and 14 states to sue him because he wanted to transform the economy too quickly. You can't do that. We don't even have the technology to transform the U.S. economy from fossil fuels to renewables. We don't even have the technology. And then you had Democrats gleefully tanking the U.S. economy 2 years ago. And you didn't have to do that. That was a choice. But they didn't prosecute Clinton for top secret intelligence on servers. They're not prosecuting, they will eventually prosecute Hunter because you'll have almost certainly, and they'll definitely impeach Joe Biden numerous times because those emails and those voicemails show that the vice president knew that Hunter was making money for him. The emails literally state that. Yeah, give 10% to the big man, meaning Joe. How can you use your influence on the company's behalf? Joe forcing out a prosecutor, hundreds of thousands and tens of millions of dollars in business deals while Joe and Hunter are meeting business associates, and they're both lying about it, especially the vice president at the time and the current president, mashed potato brains. Anyway, if they end up indicting Trump, and I'm saying it's a possibility in the future, just because they want to knock him out of 2024, they'll get DeSantis and they'll also lose the trial. And that'll do more harm to the Democratic Party than it will to the country even. Although it'll harm the country, but it'll do more harm to the Democratic Party. They cannot find anything on Trump. They simply cannot find anything on Trump because he did not commit a crime. With Democrats, they did commit crimes. Top secret intelligence on private servers is a crime. Clinton, anyone else not named Hillary Clinton would have been indicted and charged and lost the trial. And anyone else not named Hunter Biden would have already been indicted and charged and lost the trial because those emails show clear violations of the law. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. They're grasping at straws, ladies and gentlemen. Be here tonight, by the way, at around 8 p.m. Pacific for the live stream. Thanks, everybody.